Welcome back to the show. If you've been living under a rock, you may not have heard the news, but Brandon Stockton going to be head coach of the Scotties coming up next year, and we've got him in studio. You know him, Glasgow legend, Kentucky Mr. Basketball, and University of Kentucky Wildcat. Brandon, thanks for hanging.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's an honor. It's not like you haven't been part of this program. You have. I mean, we were just talking about it off air. I mean, your tutelage has been around for a while, and some of these young kids that we're seeing play, like a Jarek Martin coming, you got a great kid there. But tell me about what it was like to be able just to say, all right, I am now the head coach of the Scotties. How's that feel to be back at your alma mater doing that?
Man, I'm blessed, really. I've been part of the program, like you said, for a few years, and just been assistant coach, head coach at the middle school, and just really trying to just give back to the school that allowed me to do so much as a basketball player. So that's just been my biggest effort, going back to trying to be the head coach.
When you look at this past season, man, I mean, yourself being a former Scotty and playing in that jersey, and for this team to make the run that they did to the region tournament, I mean, it had to have been awesome, coaching that and being able to experience that.
Oh, man, it was awesome. We had some ups and downs throughout the season, and I don't guess anybody thought we would ever get there. And then just kind of towards the end of the season, we just kind of band together, fixed a few things. The guys band together and just decided to go out and play some basketball. And we were fortunate enough to get some wins, win the district, win a game in the region. So great success for those guys, and I'm happy they got to feel that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It was fun watching it culminate, man, especially there at the 4th region. And, you're going to miss Walbert, obviously. What a player. Headed to Transylvania. But anytime, Coach, you get the range, you get to hold the steering wheel and the gear shift, you're able to do things that maybe you weren't able to do as much when you weren't at the head of the class. So now that you are, what do you think the Stockton culture is going to be like?
I think it's going to be similar to how I played in high school. We're going to get up and down. We're going to get after people. We're going to press. We're going to be fast. And just play, with a sense of urgency of Glasgow basketball. And, I was fortunate enough to have Coach Bart Fleener as a mentor to me. He's been mentoring me for a long time. And, his coaching style is kind of how I adapted to being a coach. So we're going to play that way if anybody remembers the old Glasgow Scottish from my time. So we were fun to watch and won a lot of ball games. So that's the way I hope it goes.
Nice.
When you talk about basketball, back then when you were Mr. Basketball, it may be a little different than what it is now. Just kind of talk about how, in your eyes, you've seen the game and what the modern basketball game is now.
Yeah, the game has changed a whole lot from when I played, actually. In my modern day, I was used to pulling up for a mid-range jump shot or, getting to the basket a whole lot. Nowadays, if it's not a layup, it's a three-point shot, So a lot of fancy moves and things, which I'm used to. But, I think it just takes more skill work in modern times now for guys. They really do have to put a lot more time in it. Kids are a lot more athletic, I think. And so for our team, coming this year, we're just going to work on a lot of basic fundamentals, and hopefully, that's going to carry over, and we're going to get better.
Coach, what do you think some of the byproducts of basketball, being an athlete and being a kid in a system, and not only at the present time, but what are some of the benefits later on in life? Because you've lived it. Discipline is a big one that comes to my mind. In basketball, you have to be disciplined in a lot of things in what you do. And that goes hand in hand with life. As you get older, you got to be disciplined enough to hold yourself accountable, hold others accountable, and, just, like I said, discipline. When I think about it, that's just the one big thing for me, and that's always been a big part of my life is discipline. And so I hope that's going to carry over for these guys in life because it'll take you a long way. Awesome.
You look at this team, it's a lot of young guys on the team, so there's plenty of room for you all to grow. Does it kind of, get you a little bit more excited that these are guys that you have been able to see over the past few years and be able to mold them into as they get older and more mature in the game of basketball?
Yeah, fortunate for us, we were young, but that's also a good thing for us. We had a lot of young guys that get a lot of experience, and, we'll take some bumps on the head early. As these guys now transition over to more of a role on the varsity level. But at the same time,
when it comes down to it, they starts turning juniors and seniors, those guys will have logged a lot of varsity minutes and hopefully be better basketball players and help this program a whole lot.
Now, you didn't just become, the head coach this past week, man. It's been a wild week for you, man. You also became KHAAA Hall of Famer, man. Just kind of talk about that experience and, getting the call or email, whatever it was, knowing that you were going to be inducted all the way up until, finally, having that moment.
Yeah, a wow moment. It's not something I was expecting at all. It has been a busy week for me. But the phone call came from Mr. Julian Tackett himself. He has that honor of calling the inductees. And, it was funny because when my phone rang, I was like, why is Mr. Tackett calling me? And, I hit my voicemail, I called him back, and when he told me, it was just wow. I've been out of high school for, 22 years now. And to be able to have that honor with some of the guys who are already in it, it's just a blessing for the hard work that I actually put in through high school.
Man, I saved the fastball till the end here. Brandon, obviously a super intelligent guy and a great mentor to young people, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
But with the current, college basketball, and these kids, a lot of them, they're playing to go to the next level. They want to go to the next level. With NIL and the transfer portal and all that's so much different than your playing days, does that come into the conversation with these kids, and how do you have that conversation?
Yeah, I've got a couple of kids that have, approached me to say they want to go play college basketball. My day and time, it was a little easier, but now I tell my guys now, you actually have to put in a little bit more work. As in I put in work 365, started when I was a sixth grader. And you might have to put in twice as much work because college is now looking at that transfer portal guy over a high school kid. And so now you have to be very, very skilled or a master at your craft. And I know some guys play 2 or 3 sports. At Glasgow, we have kids that do that. We're a small school, but it's not to say it can't be done, but you actually have to spend time mastering your craft. And that's the advice I give to my guys, and I hope they take it because if they want to go play at the next level, that's something they're going to have to do.
Well, Scotty's are in good hands.
Oh, yeah. Just real quick, man, you still keeping up with college basketball in Kentucky?
I do. I do a lot of watching. I don't get to make it to a lot of the games because of coaching, but I do try to keep up with my cats. So
yeah, I was just wondering what your thoughts on obviously it's a new era for Kentucky, man. Third head coach since you've been in college. This is only the third new coach, man. So I just wanted to get what your opinion on the new hire was.
I'm happy with the new hire. I think it was kind of time for some new blood. Not that I'm upset about Kyle or anything, but I think kind of in the same situation here. Going back home and being the head coach. Coach Pope's coming back home being the head coach of the college, and I think he'll bring that passion and fire and that winning tradition that we're used to. It may take some time. All things take time, rebuilding stage, but in the end, I think he's great for the program.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we appreciate you for coming in,
Thank
man.
y'all for having me.
It's been an honor talking to you.
Thank
for real.
you. Appreciate you.
Well, don't go anywhere. We have more Sports Connection right after the break.